of Briquette Dukivu. Is that how you pronounce that?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So, Briquette Dukivu, is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, yes.
Fantastic. So I've got it in the first the first instance itself. I got the pronunciation correct. I'm very glad. And
Yeah.
sir, before we begin with interesting insights into your project, we would like to know a little background story to your journey into Briquette Dukivu. So could you give us a little background how you came about it?
Yeah, interesting. As you just said, my name is Murhula Zigabe, and I live in the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of Congo in the Central Africa. I am the founder of a small project called Briquette Dukivu, which is an initiative to collect biomass waste and turn it into clean cooking charcoal. How did I come to this project? One day I was listening to the radio program, and in that program a journalist said that every year my country is losing
Yes, sir. Your country is losing
500,000 hectares
500.
of its forest every year, so that families can have access to charcoal, which is the main source of energy for cooking food in my region. And because of that loss of the forest, now we were facing climate change, and climate change was affecting mainly agriculture, which employs 80% of the Congolese population. And I couldn't sleep on that day. I was wondering what to do to fix the problem. I was wondering how I also can be part of the solution to that problem. Then I went on to the internet researching for the solution, and I realized that in Asia, mainly in Philippines, people were using organic waste to make a clean cooking charcoal so that they could save their forest. And then I started to understand the process and to research. So I made, because I was learning and then trying, learning and then trying, until I was able in October 2018 to make my first clean cooking charcoal.
Right.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. So, after a lot of research work, I guess you have started this. So, a lot of effort has gone into this project that you've started. So,
Yeah.
let me say, like, as a general assumption, is that
Yes.
in the people, is that charcoal causes pollution? So, could you help us enlighten our listeners that and possible investors as to why this particular charcoal has been termed as eco charcoal briquette?
Yeah. Would you ask again, please, the question?
Because the general assumption is that charcoal causes pollution. So I want our viewers
Yes.
and possible investors into this kind of initiative to understand why this is called eco charcoal briquettes. Could you help us with that, sir?
Interesting. First of all, the normal charcoal is made after cutting down trees, but this eco-friendly charcoal called briquette is now made out of wood, but it is made out of biomass or waste, which is also a source of pollution in the city. So instead of going into the forest and cutting down trees, we are going all over the city collecting biomass that we turn into eco-friendly charcoal. The second process is now carbonization. When we are carbonizing the biomass, we use the oven. We use the oven, which produce smoke. It doesn't produce any smoke. After the briquette, and after the briquette is made, when it burns faster, it produces too much heat, and it doesn't generate smoke.
All right, sir. That is a very strong point.
Yes.
So now that I'm sure it is not a very big rocket science, so I think a lot of people can take this initiative. So, for someone, now let's say for someone living in a rural environment or rural areas or villages of the country, where certain environmental factors can either play a favorable role in going about making these briquettes, whereas in some areas, in rural areas, it may not be possible. So how does one make or avail these briquettes for consumption, as in basic natural resources and man-made setup? What kind of basic resources, natural resources are required and man-made setup is required to get these briquettes, to get these made, right?
Yeah, good question. And I would say rural areas are the best places where these briquettes can be made, because in rural areas the main activity is agriculture, and agriculture generates also waste. For example, when someone in rural areas is growing sugar canes, sugar canes generate a lot of waste that can be used to make briquettes. When someone is growing corn, when someone is growing beans, so all the waste that remains in the field after harvesting can be used to make the briquettes.
Okay, so that means there is plenty of material available and people just need to be aware of it.
Yeah, people just need to be aware of it and maybe get some training and also some equipment